Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Arsenal versus Manchester City live watch along here on That's Football. Big game, biggest game of the weekend. And look, I think for many of us, we're looking for an Arsenal win here. Unless you're a Man City fan or a Liverpool fan. I think an Arsenal win just makes the title more interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely of that opinion today. Whether they should get it or not, I suppose, comes down to, personal thoughts. I'm a little bit disappointed with the starting lineup, if I'm being completely honest, of Arsenal. Eze not starting, first of all, before we talk about the Man City side. No Eze in the team. He's on the bench, and he has gone with Trossard, which is a player that, as we know, Mikel Arteta admires and likes. Oh, Man City with a 2v2. Watch Haaland. Oh, my God. They've got a 2v3. It's 1-0. That is shocking defending by Arsenal. That is shocking defending by Arsenal. I've got to say, whoever that centre-back is who loses him, that is absolutely shocking defending by Arsenal. It's just too easy. Haaland, what was I talking about? Best striker in the league. Mugs them off there. Way too easy for City, that. Way too easy. Shocking defending. Really bad. I mean, that's the sort of thing you expect to see in the bloody National League. How they end up in this position, I do not know. I mean, Haaland's quick. Saliba's in a terrible position. It's bad. Saliba's got to go with Haaland there. Gabriel is not getting back. Look at the pace of Haaland, though. I think it's shocking defending. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know whether bringing Saliba back in for this game was a good idea, because that looks like a centre-back that ain't fit. Like, that is mentally mad what he's done there. He's got to go with the Haaland run. The pass from Foden into Haaland is I could play it. 25,000 watching. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Man City deservedly in front here after 20 minutes. And Arsenal... shit, actually. I know that's just very basic analysis, but it's a crap start. It really is. I don't know what the plan was coming into this game, but I actually do agree with some Arsenal fans. It looked like it was keep it tight and win a corner, because there's no attacking intent going on here. Madueke got in the way of it. Hit the post, I think. Or it was a good save. Donnarumma's having a good game. Saka on the far side, up against Doku. Little cross. Good defending. And Zubimendi, furious with himself. Probably should do better there. Right on the edge of the box. Over the bar. Should be hitting the target, really. Saka does well. Yeah, he's gone for the top corner, hasn't he? To be fair to Zubimendi, he's not just smashed it. He actually has gone for the top corner. And I think it would have been in if it had been on target. Again! Haaland! Good save. Eze. Bloody hell. Man City nearly had it there. What? That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Mozza says start, bench, sell. Ramos, Maldini, Chiellini. I'd sell Chiellini. I would bench Ramos and I would start Maldini. Shot by Trossard on the back post. Eze into Trossard. Good cross! Behind Gyökeres for the tap-in. Is it one of those days? Potentially. I think it's moving, well, obviously, but I think it's moving closer and closer towards a City win. Arsenal have just lost a bit of rhythm. Like in a game like this, you can just sort of see that killer breakaway goal for Man City. I'm starting to feel that. There we go. Saliba's had a shit game. Why are Arsenal so bad? Look, I'll talk about it in my match reaction, but I think there's a couple of things he's made. He's done things that he normally does, Arteta, here, and if it doesn't work, and ultimately, I don't think a draw's good. I don't. I mean, you're going to take a draw now. Of course you are. You've got to adapt your priorities. You don't want to lose. You're going to take the draw. But I feel Arsenal should be winning a game like this. And the Trossard selection, whilst He hasn't been the worst player on the pitch. It's not really about that. It's the intent. If you're going to play Moreno in the midfield and then put Trossard on the left, it says to everybody straight away, I'm going to be pragmatic. Against the Man City side that's already lost to Spurs and Brighton, you're going to be pragmatic because it's your old mate, Pep. Also, I think Saliba and Saka have been thrown in too soon, and he keeps doing this. Saliba cost you the first goal. Saka's not looked that fit in the second half. You're telling me that Saka's done more than Madueke was doing in the first half. And he keeps doing this. He's obsessed with throwing players back in quick. And Saliba's cost you a goal, and I don't think Saka's done any better than Madueke. So, Arteta's showing a little bit of an experience. I do like Arteta. I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism, but I think in a game like this, there is no margin for error. You lost at Anfield. That's not the end of the world, but you then have to go and beat Man City, and they haven't done it. In Calafiori's shooting now at the corner flag. You can see it. Unfortunately, I don't like to say this because I predicted Arsenal to win the league, but I've got to put my hands up and say, look, everybody who laughed at me, this is probably why you laughed at me, because they just don't have the minerals, do they? They don't have the minerals for this. They go to Newcastle away next week as well. Arsenal are just Spurs wearing red. I just saw that go through. Well, Spurs did win at the Etihad. I suppose that's the interesting thing for Arsenal, isn't it? Like, against United, it was a keeping error. You won 1-0. Leeds, obviously, was a good result. Lose at Liverpool. Forest was after the international break, straightforward. Man City looks like you might lose. I mean, where are Arsenal? Are they title contenders? Or when they play the likes of Newcastle next week, will Newcastle get a result? When they play Spurs, will Spurs get a result? And I think that's the bad thing about this result for Arsenal is it's like, are you going to be second or are you actually going to be fighting for top four? Very good squad. Not really any more excuses. I've always backed Arteta over the Arteta out movement, but this season I don't think you can. You've got the striker, you've got the squad. You can't hide behind Odegaard being injured. That's nonsense. Last week in the Manchester derby, Mamouche is out, Cherky's out. Man United don't have Cunha and Mount. Everybody gets injuries. What a goal! If he's onside, what a goal! What a goal! I tell you what, I've always said Martinelli is overrated, but that goal is out of absolutely nothing. What a goal! If he's onside, that is incredible. Unbelievable. He's broken the I mean, what are Man City doing? It's a story of two terrible defences. What the hell are Man City doing playing a high line 2 minutes into added time? Martinelli springs it. Donnarumma runs out. He chips him. Unbelievable. That chip was so good, it would be a waste to dip it in ketchup. It was absolutely brilliant. And if he is onside, I'm just watching the run. He's on. He's got to be on. Well, I think he's on. What a finish. I mean, come on. That is that's goal of the week for me. Under that amount of pressure. And Vardiel is so close to him. That is such a good goal. Such a good goal. It could be offside. I did say that at the start. It could be offside. Obviously, it'd be a disgrace if he's offside. You don't want it to be offside unless you're a Man City or Liverpool fan, maybe. But the finish is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.